that an armed subject had tried to breach the building's visitor screening facility. 9:15 a.m. Breach triggered an alarm. The person fled into the interstate. Authorities closed the highway in both directions because of the standoff. The emergency management. Dennis said that just before 10 a.m., the suspect exited the highway, got out of his car, white Crown Vic, and opened fire on officers. The officers tried to negotiate with him throughout the day, Dennis said, adding after a time the negotiations failed. In an effort to take him into custody, officers fired less lethal munitions, Dennis said. Shortly before 4 p.m., the suspect raised his gun and officers fatally shot him. Well, there you go. My legal advice is simple. Don't shoot at the police ever. Terrible plan. Respectfully comply with police orders because your fight is in the court, not in the street. If you fight police in the street, you die. That's very, very critical point. If you fight police in the street, you will literally get killed. You will lose that fight. 99.9% of the time. There's all sorts of videos of people losing fights with police. There's more of them than you. After the public release of an unredacted copy of the inventory, FBI agents involved in this investigation were threatened and harassed. An ex-Trump aide and right-wing Breitbart News have been separately accused of doxing the FBI agents involved in the Mar-a-Lago raid. Look, again, you're not going to find my sympathy here because doxing public officials doesn't bother me. Like, look, I'm not saying you should do it. In fact, I'll say the opposite. You should not. However, being a public official has a very big part in front of it called public. You are a representative of the government. You chose that job. You chose to represent the government. Like, I believe me, I'm not a fan of doxing. I'm not a fan of anything, but you are literally the public. You are big G government. And you're the one person on earth that I'm like, well, yeah, I actually kind of feel like I should know exactly who my public officials are. I have no fucking sympathy. Sorry. Hey, don't work for the government. Like, legitimately, don't work for the government. If you work for the government, don't do it. The government is your enemy, even as your employer, especially as your employer. Don't do it. Don't. It's a terrible entity. It is to be suffered as a necessity, not worshipped as a deity, not as your sole provider. It was never intended to be these things.